So, we're going to start Gimel today. Yesterday we did Beis, and Beis was very long, and it was very, very interesting, and it's very enlightening. Talking about how different clothing we should not wear, because that's what idolaters wear. Idolaters wear a certain kind of clothing, and we should keep away from that to have some separation. So we're just going to continue the thought a little bit. Lo yibash begadim yukari. One should not wear expensive clothing. Ki davar zeh mevi es ha'adam lidei ga'ava. For this brings a person to feelings of haughtiness. So if you have an individual who likes wearing their expensive clothing, the Dolce and Banana, their Crombie and Finch, the Blueberry clothing, whatever it is, the Tommy Hilfiger, you shouldn't wear expensive clothing because it makes a person feel like they are superior. I know in a community where I lived before, I said this in the last video, but I'll say it again because there are other people here today. Everyone was about fashion. Everyone had to get the nicest belt, and they had to get the nicest, the coolest glasses, the most expensive glasses and shirts, and everything was pressed, and everything was expensive. And people were judged about how they would do it. I remember when I was a teenager, when I was in yeshiva, people would take their yarmulkes and they would sew inside their yarmulke a brand name. Like Tommy Hilfiger was a cool brand name inside their yarmulke. So they can say, hey, Tommy Hilfiger yarmulke. It was a cool thing. We shouldn't do that. It leads to haughtiness, you know. It's the same thing in the non-Jewish world as well. If you go to a public school, you have the cliques. Whoever's wearing this kind of clothing or that kind of clothing they consider themselves to be superior. You know, we have this new fashion-forward business going on where people dress in a certain way, and it does lead to a certain sense of haughtiness. One should not wear very inferior or dirty clothing. So we have the other extreme. We have people saying, I don't want to be haughty, so they wear, they don't want to be about ga'ava. They wear clothing which is not so clean, not so fresh. It has this peculiar, interesting smell about it, and they go to the other extreme, so they don't want to be haughty. That's also not acceptable. Why? Shelo yizbazeh be'enei habrios. So that he should not be humiliated in the eyes of others. You know, we don't want non-Jews or even other Jews to say, look at that dirty Jew. Look, he's disgusting. He doesn't bathe properly. He wears disgusting clothing. You know, that's something we don't want to happen. That's something that we're not interested in happen. We don't want to dress to the nines unless it's Shabbos. Shabbos, we do want to wear our best dress, but we're talking about during the week. But we don't want to dress like a schlump in a schlump. You know, if we walk around, we want our shirt tucked in. We want to look like a mensch. Ella, rather, yehu lo v'gadim mitziyim v'nekayim. Rather, you should have clean clothing of average quality. Go to TJ Maxx, go to Marshall's. You can get nice clothing there for dirt cheap. You know, in Pittsburgh, where I hail from, there's a place called Gabriel Brothers, and you can get some really nice clothing that is very presentable, and it's clean. You want to look like a mensch. You want to look clean. You don't want to be extremely haughty with your nails manicured and your feet pedicured all the time. You know, you want to be presentable, not dirty, not disgusting, and not the other way around. Lilam yimod adam afilu koros beso. As a rule, one should be prepared to sell even beams of his house. B'yikach min alim l'raglav. Thus to obtain to buy shoes for his feet. So if we're these, we have to look presentable, and to look presentable, we sell the beams of our house. Our body is more important than our house that which we live in, our shelter, to look as presentable, because we are a light onto the nations, and being a light onto the nations, we want people to see that, He's not a dirty Jew. He's not the expression a Jap, Jewish American princess or prince. He's not one of these people who has a life of luxury. We want people to say he's a normal, average guy, and not look at the clothes that the person's wearing. Look at the message that the person's saying and how he acts like a mensch and how he dresses like a mensch. That is important, and that's one good thing about being in Eugene. People dress simple. You don't have people who dress to the nines. Yes, you, sir, in the back.
Well, that's why we were cleaning up in the back here, so when people come for show, the people come tomorrow.
100%.
That looks nice.
100%.
Although I do call my two daughters Japs. They definitely dress like Jewish American princesses.
Okay, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, that's a great way to end this.
It's not as important, but it's not a condemnation. It's not,
No, if it's a cutesy name that you call your kids, I call my middle child Monkey because she likes to climb on everything. That's one thing.
And the sorority they go to has been considered a sorority of Japs. But I don't know.
Awesome.
You can't fight it all.
All right, have a good day, gentlemen. Thank you for coming to listen to Halachos here.